Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Blues Down Under, care of the Mancunian Way. I'm your host, Patrick, joined by the usual band of blue colleagues, Governor, Rich, and Mako. Good evening, gentlemen. How are we doing?
Evening.
Good evening, mate.
Good evening.
Fantastic.
Good to be back. Not feeling too bad for a Wednesday night. It's been a nice day here today, hasn't it? Yeah.
Been gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Beautiful.
And just when you think an international break might keep us away, I've got to say something. We just did say this off camera just a second ago. Rich alluded to it. Plenty to talk about because I'll tell you what a way to finish an international break. You don't say that often these days, but I'm surely we'll have some things to say about the Scottish and the Irish and everything else in between. But yeah, look, we said today's show is mostly going to be about Main Road memories, which we will get into eventually. But yeah, I just wanted to keep the show off and just say big up to Scotland, big up to Ireland, and any other team that progressed to the World Cup as well too. So well done as well there too. But I tell you what, people talk about saying they don't appreciate international breaks or how much it gets in the way of how much you love your club and all that sort of stuff. But what Ireland and what Scotland did in particular over these last 2 days or something just shows that international football has still got its following and people are still as passionate about it as they are for their club. So big up to international football. And it's really hyped me. It's really hyped me for USA 2026.
How can you score an overhead kick and it's only the third best goal by your team? I mean, unbelievable goal. No one's going to remember it. They're going to remember. And even Tierney gets that goal, and no one's going to remember that. They're going to be one from the halfway line. That unbelievable.
Then the other question too is: would Scott McTominay be able to score that if he was still playing for United? No.
Well, Scott
he wouldn't have the confidence to do that.
United.
He wouldn't get the service either.
Yeah. Big up Blue Heart for Men at Work lyrics. Appreciate it, mate. Thank you.
Well, Blue Heart.
Martin, thank you, mate. He's going to be joining us in about 20 minutes. Adam Quinn, 24 months. Big up, mate. 2 years membership. Thank you so much for all your support for the channel. And, of course, we're going to throw this in as well.
I'm emotional. I mean, this is a dream come true. All these guys deserve. All these guys around here.
There we go. Thanks, Quinn. Yeah. So, what else was there, guys? Obviously, Australia played today. Lost 3-0 to Colombia, but always going to be tough. And I'm actually glad we played tougher opposition leading into this tournament anyway.
Yeah.
So,
and all I've got to say is 7, third place, looking like they're going out, and then 7. What a team! What a team!
That Diaz run riot, didn't he?
Yeah, against Australia, mate. Of course, yeah,
he run right against Australia.
Now, yeah, it's good. It's good to see James Rodriguez still getting out and getting playing as well too. But yeah, just Luis Diaz is the bloody engine, and he's the weaponry. He's everything for them as well. Yeah.
Who's the keeper, Pat? I've not seen that keeper before.
I'm not sure. What was his name again?
No. I don't recognise him at all.
Are you talking about the Australian keeper or the Colombia one?
Yeah, the Aussie keeper.
Yeah, because they
I've never seen him before.
Rotated a few over these last few games. Just trying to remember if it was the same one. One sec.
I've never seen him before.
Didn't he ring up and say what time you're kicking off? And they said, "What time can you get here?" Is he the one?
I played it in New York, mate. He called up. He said, "Yeah, I'm actually up in Boston for the weekend. I'm going to be down in a couple of hours." Yeah, Paul Izzo. He was the keeper when we beat Canada in the last international break.
Okay.
He was man of the match that game because we won, and he made about half a dozen incredible saves. He was unbelievable.
He did have two different coloured socks on as well. He must have got changed in the dark.
No, it's possible. Possible, mate. Absolutely possible. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see how we go anyway.
It's only a friendly.
Sorry, mate.
It was only a friendly.
Of course, yeah. But like I said, I don't really, when it comes to friendlies, you kind of don't really mind who you play. But at the end of the day, if we're going to be playing like a team that's, way further up in the FIFA rankings than what we are, it's only just good experience coming into the tournament for next year anyway. And given the fact that most of our core of the Socceroos squad, it basically plays in the MLSs now as well too. I think it's a good little sort of acclimatization, for the American tournament as well, because these are little things that can be a big difference to how your team performs. Like I think, what the Socceroos did in Qatar, 3-4 years ago. I think a big factor of that had to do with the fact that we played a lot of matches in that part of the world, for months on end, leading to the tournament as well. So it can only be good, and as long as I think we keep the squad there through the breaks playing in the States, it's only going to lead to possibly good things. And when the draw comes out, I think the draw comes out tomorrow for the World Cup, doesn't it?
And I've heard December the 5th.
The draw tomorrow is for the playoff.
Playoff.
Right. Okay.
Ireland and Wales and Italy, etc.
Yeah.
We're all going.
They still haven't arranged the points yet, have they, Rich?
So, it's March they're playing, so they get drawn. I think that's tomorrow.
December the 5th is the draw, isn't it? Everyone knows.
Well, they won't know which teams are in by, unless they're going to have Italy or Wales or Greece or Ireland or whatever in the things. They're not going to know till March who's qualifying for the World Cup.
I got so. All right. I'm sure I've seen something December the 5th.
Yeah. That could be. Maybe it isn't tomorrow. Maybe December the 5th is a draw for the playoffs. Because you've got eight, you've got 8 or 10 or 12 potential teams from Europe who don't know whether they're in yet.
Yeah, true.
So, and I mean, Ireland as well. The most famous parrot since John Parrott, who got that
trick
95th minute goal. Yeah, was it 95th minute?
Wow.
I mean,
guys, talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Talk amongst yourselves for a minute. I've got a bee's just flying above my head in the room, so I've got to get rid of it.
I thought I was going to say that.
Yeah, I've got a bee. Yeah, probably hear it actually.
But John Parrott was a scouser, though, wasn't he?
Yeah. Actually, I don't know.
So he qualified for Ireland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my youth, I had 10 quid on him once to win the World Championship, and he did, and made me what at the time seemed like an absolute fortune.
Wow.
Yeah. I haven't bet on a Scouser since though.
Yeah, he was a good personality, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a good player.
Yeah.
But it's good because we often have these breaks, and international football is absolutely rubbish. But actually this week, because it's right at the end and there were places up for grabs and matches that mattered, it was actually good international football. And it was I was up early this morning watching it, and watching the highlights of some of the other games, and call that big Earl. Like his qualify. I mean, Doku as well. Doku's like 5th highest scorer in qualifying or something. He got like 5 or 6 goals, 7 assists, I think it was in qualifying. So he's got one of the.
That's right.
And then
Did you
like 2 goals a game? That's just absolutely.
Did you see that tackle on Doku though? It was a bad tackle on Doku. He got up limping, but at the end of the game, he just walked off. But it was a bad tackle on him. Yeah,
and there's you get a few more in international football. I think you get some more agricultural tackles because there's teams they're playing who have got they're not Premier League, La Liga footballers. They're playing some of them a couple of tiers down or in much more agricultural leagues. So
the dodgy tackle and all that.
Gets a bit tasty. It gets a bit tasty. It's not as cultured. Like Scotland was an absolutely amazing game, but you're looking at it and you're thinking some of those footballers, they're so far off the level of quality that we see watching City every week or watching Arsenal.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, isn't it? I watched the highlights of the. Did you see the highlights of Nigeria? The penalty shootout. Oh, gee. They were throwing bottles on the pitch and they were still taking the penalties.
Wow.
Anyways.
Yeah.
2 bottles fell right in front of the ball and he still took his penalty.
Yeah. I must admit, I was, just like on Stan this morning, there's so many games. You're like, oh, bloody hell. It's like the World Cup, and it is amazing how much football you can watch. When we were going into the, before we get into the Maine Road memories, when you go back there and football on TV barely existed, you had to go to Maine Road to actually see a game, or if you went to Stockport or wherever else. But it's amazing. Now you get up and you've got 25 different games you can choose from, and
an absolute plethora.
That was a shock result because Nigeria was one of the favourites. Congo knocked them out, so that was a shock result.
Have you seen, Governor, with Nigeria? Every World Cup that they don't qualify for, Argentina wins.
Is that true?
It's true.
Well, it wasn't true.
So,
it wasn't true in any World Cup prior to about 1986. I don't think. Pat. I don't think Uruguay.
Wasn't 1978 the first? No, wasn't 78 the first one they won?
Yeah, but I don't think in I don't know. Maybe I don't think they qualified in about the first 10 World Cups, and Argentina didn't win any of them. We're gonna have to touch on the cricket. There's a lot of cricket comments.
I know.
Yeah.
Some cheeky monkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't help but say that. Yeah, I think the hype around the Ashes is sort of superseding a bit of the football at the moment. So, can't wait to do a preview for Newcastle.
Did you see the headline?
One second.
About Joe Root in the Aussie paper yesterday. I can't remember which paper it was. It might have been the Perth Mail or whatever. And Root got one, and it's like, Root useless as ever in Australia, getting bowled out by second-rate Ponds.
Yeah.
So they've been getting stuck in a bit.
Yeah. Well, didn't Joe Root have a game the other day where he bowled and he got figures of like 1 for 120? You go, well, at least he knows how to get a century in Australia now.
Yeah,
here we go.
To be honest,
I'm ready for it. I'm ready.
He's normally shooting about 72.
He's even got the top button done up. Bloody hell.
I'm in the slips.
Yeah. All I can say is, what a tour this was.
Bloody hell.
Nice one, that, mate.
It's going to be a similar score this year to that 2000.
This was the
no chance.
This was the 06 in Boxing Day, MCG.
I am.
Brilliant day. Double decker bus.
You were there for Warnie's 700th.
Well, it would have been 06.
That was the first, 06-07 series. So that day one, I'm sure we bowled first. That would have been That would have been you would have been there for Warney 700th.
We hired a double-decker bus, open-top bus, driven it round the MCG a few times, got in the cricketers' arms for 8:30 in the morning, straight on the Bourbons. Brilliant. What a day.
Yeah, special day. I think every day at the Ashes is a special day, to be honest. I remember my first ever Ashes was the 98-99 series New Year's test. And that was just about everything you could have asked for in terms of a day of cricket because, I think we got bowled out for about 350 odd on the final over of day one. Mark Orr scored 100, but Steve Waugh got bowled by Peter Such for 96, and Darren Gough took a hat trick. You got everything in one day there. It was just
brilliant. I was there.
Yeah,
I was there that day when Goughy got his hat trick. That was 98-99, wasn't it?
Were you down in the Doug Walters stand then, like sort of? Because I was sort of in between like Doug Walters and the Tiger O'Reilly stand, so sort of just off to where the old scoreboard used to be.
Probably, yeah. And I was with the just to the right of the score. The scoreboard was to my left. No, the sight screen was to my left. So is that Bay 20? Although not as good as when Devin Malcolm.
I remember,
Malcolm hit.
Yeah, that entire part of Sydney Cricket Ground had absolutely no cover whatsoever. So I was like,
Martin's not going to be happy.
No.
But apparently we've actually got no.
Martin comes on the show.
This test we got no spinners, have we? First day.
I don't think we'll play spinner. Pointless.
No, we got five seam bowlers.
Yeah, no, they won't play spinner, and I'm not sure there's much point in the spinner for England, and apart from the subcontinent, because they bat so fast. The Test matches will be over in 3 or 4 days, so it's not going to. I don't think a spinner's going to matter. I think if they really need a spinner, they'll probably play Jet.
On Talk Sport, they were saying the groundsman has sort of done the pitch towards the English, but I don't know how true that is.
Well, they have been. They've been like
very green.
They've always done them for pace, and England's got faster bowlers than Australia. The 3 fastest bowlers in this Ashes series are Pons. So it'll be interesting to see. And the Aussies could do what India does and produce a wicket that suits England the first test, England win, and then every other wicket for every other test afterwards. They've gone out, they've taken some sand from the beach and a big thing of dust and just chucked it down on the pitch and getting on with it.
Let's be honest, I've always thought we've never been as much of an advantage since they started doing drop-in pitches anyway.
No, they're drop-in pitches. I
think since that became the regular at the big grounds in Australia, I don't think we've been the same. We've still been good, but nothing like what we were.
Except for Sydney, which is the one true cricket ground in Australia.
Yeah,
one true cricket ground in Australia, the one proper wicket.
The only thing I'm worried about, we have a tendency to collapse in the batting. That's what my worry is.
Well,
really.
Yes and no, we do. But then we have a tendency to put on 300 runs, at 6 and 7. We collapse, and then Brooke and Jamie Smith put on 300 off 200 balls. I think it's England they've only got one real weakness in their batting line. But Zach Crawley, I think, is a weakness most places. But in Australia suits Zach Crawley down to the ground, and he actually averages double against Australia, everyone else. But I think Pope's the one that's just not nailed his place down, and Bethel hasn't nailed his place down. So I think that's the one weakness. But I think when you go like Brooke and Root are the 2 best batsmen in the world at the moment, and Jamie Smith,
there's a couple of newbies in there. I don't know.
Phenomenal batsman, and Stokes a big game player. So you've then got those 4 together, and that's incredible power.
Yeah,
but. What it's interesting, Hussey was saying he reckons there's going to be a lot of, Brooke and players like Brooke compulsively go for it. They never back away. And he reckons the Aussies are just going to toss them up hooks and they're going to go for like 30 runs. And then on the 6th ball, they're going to, catch them out on the boundary. And he reckens that's
I think it'll be a similar ploy to what we've done the last couple of Ashes series here, mate. We'll happily give up a few overs of baseball and then just put boundary riders out and fine leg deep square.
But you haven't played that. You haven't
play for
played
the hook shot and pull shot.
Australia.
Yeah, just try and catch them out that way. We've done it so many years before.
But it wasn't.
Gabba's a big one. WA, we do it a lot in. Yeah.
It wasn't baseball last time though. You haven't played baseball in Australia.
No, I know you mean, but just like even if we just allow an uptake in runs for a few overs, and then try and blow a false shot in or something like that as well.
Anyway, we should get on to Maine Road memories.
Yes.
Macca doesn't look as big a cricket fan as the rest of us.
No, I was just going to say, if we're going to talk Ashes, and I know it only comes around every few years, but we should always mention the greatest Manchester City cricketer, which is Bob Willis. And you may remember, or you may not, it's all history.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Bob.
8 for 43, one of the greatest performances ever. I'll be mentioning that quite a lot to the Aussies on day 3 in Adelaide and day 1 in Sydney, when he just tore through the middle order at Leeds with great aplomb. And he was always my favourite cricketer. Not only was he a City fan, he was a gentleman, and he was widely disliked by many Australians due to that performance.
Well, there's been a few City Ashes connections. I mean, Andy Flintoff's always been, I think a Preston fan originally, but he's always been, a regular at City. And then there's a great lad. He's not in the Ashes team. He's in the 2020 team. Phil Salt, who's a North Welshman, huge City fan. Grew up when, watching Nicky Weaver, and he's the only person I've ever heard saying Carlo Nash was one of his favourite ever players. And when he got his place in the England team, he was asked what shirt number he wanted, and he said, I want 61. So he's 61.
Yep.
And then when he got his shirt number at Lancashire, he said, I'll have 16 because we were away. So his Lancashire shirt number 16, 1-6. His England shirt number 6-1. Top bloke.
Good lad. I'm liking the sound of him, and hopefully he does what I do every time I get that train past Old Trafford, or indeed.
Okay, welcome back to the original scheduled programming of the Mancunian Way, where we're going to talk football. Because you know what? We've had enough of the cricket bullshit. And you can call me dictator.
We were just transitioning, okay? And besides, you said 20 minutes. That's only 10.
Transition then.
What are you talking about? Don't know what you're going on about.
Jesus Christ.
Welcome back to Willow Talk.
Yes.
We
were talking about famous City fans. We've just got on to another North Welshman like Phil Salt, Timothy Dalton, the Bond City fan.
That's right, yeah.
He was.
Two things as well. Bollocks to the Scots.
Mark, where are you from, mate? If you've got a Mark Ward 1999 top on, bloody hell.
Here we go.
Bollocks to the
Mark
Scots.
Ward.
Bollocks to the Welsh. Bollocks to the Irish.
Oh, how very parochial, Martin.
This will be really good for offending all our viewership. I think Martin's obviously been to Alan training this week. Apologies, audience. Martin's been on a special 2-day camp with Alan, learning how to offend the audience. So
he was in a 2-day seminar with Tommy Robinson.
You're wearing Welsh.
It's the England and Wales Cricket Board, Martin, as you would know.
Bloody
if you
Welsh.
Great point.
The England and Wales Cricket Board.
Hands across the nations.
Yep. Anyway, we were going to talk about Maine Road. So we were just doing a gentle link up to, doing a bit of reminiscing about Maine Road, Macca, Gov, Martin, and, early memories, funny stories, and just, talking a bit to, some of the older viewers will say who actually remember Maine Road and going there. But for the younger people watching, a bit about City's history and a bit about where we came from before we were the global juggernaut that we are today. So, Mecca, go on over to you. Favorite Maine Road memories. What do you really, when you look back, what do you really think about when you think about Maine Road?
Well, I think I was pretty fortunate, if I'm honest, because I used to go to school at St Bede's, which is just across Alexandra Park. So it's on the border of Whalley Range and Moss Side. So Morrissey and Manchester City as we were growing up. I used to be able to skip school and just go down and watch the team training at Platt Lane. So through the early 80s and into the 90s, they did actually do some training because I witnessed it. It just didn't seem to come to fruition on the pitch very often. I think my earliest memory, my first game was October 79, and it was against Coventry, and they had the worst kit you've ever seen in your life, the horrible brown kit, which I don't think...
the brown one,
Admiral Brown. And Mackenzie and Robinson got the goals. So, they just walking into the kit packs and this magnificent stand full to the rafters of blues. Not the most salubrious of surroundings, it has to be said. Whenever I speak to any away fans that went to Maine Road, they're like, "Oh, that was a tough place to go. It's a bit scary." And I'm like, "Well, I lived down there, and it was pretty scary for me to go, if I'm honest." But there was a real sense of camaraderie.
All those little back alleys. Yeah, those back alleys with the broken glass in the top of them.
Yeah.
And you'd see people charging off, charging off after people down those back alleys. So.
Yeah.
And I think in those early days, you didn't really notice, or maybe it was an age thing, you didn't really notice too much trouble. But there was an air of mischief, shall we say. Air of mischief. And I remember it was so cold at one of the games. Me and my mate got off the bus, the 99 from Sale. And it's so cold. Let's get some chips and curry. That'll warm us up. And it was the hottest curry I'd ever tasted since, we couldn't eat it. So that was a pound thrown away immediately. And got in the ground. Let's get something warm. And it was it Bovril? So some sort of beef drink.
Bovril,
yeah.
Which it always had Bovril.
You can still get Bovril.
Yep. Oh my God.
I used to drink that.
Poisonous. Oh, not this stuff, mate. This was Peter Swale's special. It's not like Bovril you get now.
I didn't mind it. I didn't mind that even at Main Road as a kid. The Bovril.
Yeah, I had the Bovril.
Yeah.
But another thing I loved about it, going in them days as a kid, was just the fact that everyone looked after each other. There was no sort of you're a blue, I'm a blue. If you need any help, or I can't see, throw him down at the front there, something like that. There's always this nice sense, and that's never left me. Traveling all over the country and all over the world, whenever you meet a blue, there's a sense that you've got this real belonging. And I've said it to Patrick many a time. We went through some dark times and we've gone through some brilliant times. Manchester City, you don't choose Manchester City. Manchester City chooses you, and you might not know it, but it does.
Yeah.
Much of the time now, when we think as a club, we're moving towards the way the other club went, in ways that fans are not very happy with. But there's still that level that you're a Manchester City fan through and through.
Yeah, I love that. The lovely smell of dog shit and cheap wagons down those back.
And the piss against the wall.
I
saw it was still there when I visited.
Pat, get your show in order. They're swearing at 10 a.m. here. Professionalism.
It's not 10 a.m. in Australia. It's way professional. What was
this is our conflicted watershed, isn't it?
The thing
20 Martin.
Thing I hated at Main Road was when you had to go in for a piss, and there was about 2 inches deep piss in the toilets around the kipper.
You're in.
If that goes over the,
chat now, Martin.
Shoes, I'm going to be walking round in them. Could have a pool of piss in my bloody shoes. So you try to go on tiptoes, so you don't, as a kid, so you don't get fucking piss in your shoes.
Different times.
Yeah. And then everyone getting in at half time on free. They'd open the gates just after half time, like 50 minutes. And then that's the Gallagher's voice. I read that about both Noel and Liam saying they didn't you know, they used to just go down and wait, and about 50 minutes, 55 minutes, they'd be let in, and they'd go in and watch the last 40 minutes of the game. Courtesy of, you know, Swales probably wanting to let people
Rich,
off.
Would they even do that if it was like a pack to the? Would they even do that if it was like a pack to the rafters derby? Just open the gates and just fill it.
Oh, derby was a bit different.
Oh, yeah, I don't think they did it on derbies.
Okay.
They did it at Wembley.
But even if it was a full house, like even if it was a match and it was a full house, would they do it? Would they do it there, or was it more like, oh, we can see?
It was only five. No, it was about 5 minutes from the end, really.
Oh,
right, a bit earlier than that. But you know, remember Wembley at '99. I mean, the guy who was stood next to me when Dickov scored didn't even have a ticket for the game, and had run in at the end when they were letting all the fans back in who'd left after Morlock's goal. Loads of fans came in who hadn't actually got tickets in the first place, had just been watching it at pubs near the ground. And he was like, I didn't have a ticket. I just came in for the last 3 minutes and then extra penalties. So, you know, it used to be a lot more lax than it is today.
Yeah. Well, when I went, I lived sort of near Martin, really. I used to live I lived in Moston, so on Moston Lane. So it was a pain in the ass to go to Main Road, really. Get to Piccadilly, get the bus from Piccadilly Gardens. But come over here in '99 and then Sod's Law, they moved closer. Like, it's not far from where we was, you know what I mean? Whereabouts are you, Martin, roughly? Not answering.
Yeah, Martin, you're Macca. Macca is Macca.
Yeah. No, Martin, do you live close?
We can't
hear
you can't hear it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's a bit weird.
Okay. I think.
Yeah. So, yeah, we used to get the bus from Piccadilly Gardens and get it up to the ground. I did a cheeky one once. You know, I used to get all the old blokes on the turnstiles counting the money, you know, all the coins. Yeah. Well, you used to have the big wooden doors. Like, you had the big doors as well. And we used to get big cardboard boxes. And we'd just come up to the gate and shout, programs. And they'd open the old blokes would open the door, open the big door. We'd run in and just throw the boxes, nothing in them. And we'd just throw it and get in the ground. That was one of the tricks.
So it's like the guys who worked the tickets and that were kind of like, you know, that video of the security guy at the football game is like patting everybody down, but like if I was the microphone, he's literally just going like this, like like that.
That's it, mate.
Yeah, there was none of that then.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, all good.
Yeah, got you, mate.
Yeah.
It's when the camera's not connecting properly. And,
there was none of that. Yeah, all the old blokes. I always remember them counting the coins and shit. Yeah, and obviously you get the odd one just jumping the turnstiles because the old blokes didn't have a clue, you know. But yeah, great days.
Them trying to deal with all this, you know, facial recognition and scanning your smartphones, like it'd be a parallel universe for them, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Rich mentioned about the TV. Like, you turn up to the game not knowing if your game was on the TV, and then you see all the camera trucks and the aerials and antennas. You go, oh my god, we're going to be on the TV today.
We're on the TV.
Well, let's be honest. We still have that situation even happen as recent as I think about the Centurion season. I remember there was a couple of FA Cup. There was a couple of FA Cup rounds there. I think a few cup rounds we had in the Centurion season where we just didn't have. They didn't have any viewing for it whatsoever.
Yeah,
it's still even up until recent years, it was still a bit of an issue in terms of.
It's not just the not showing it, Macca. It was the total lack of knowledge about what was going on anywhere else. You know, I mean, like you get the odd bloke who'd take a little transistor radio with him and try and get the BBC, but even the BBC, you're only getting updates at half time. If you listen to Piccadilly, you could get the updates on like 6 or 7 Manchester teams, so you could hear that. So generally, I just remember at the end of the game as a kid when they'd read out all the results in your division to the crowd, and you'd be cheering or booing the results because you'd be hearing straight away the rival promotion. I remember one season where absolutely brilliant season with a crap ending for us, but us and Newcastle, they had Kevin Keegan, and Chelsea. It was Kerry Dixon and David Speedy, and Sheffield Wednesday, which was probably, I can't remember who was playing, probably Chris Waddle. It might have been there then, and a few others. And we were battling, 4 of us were battling for the top 3 places for promotion in the, and we of course came 4th in a 4-horse race. But that was an absolutely brilliant season. But I remember every game at Maine Road, you'd be waiting at the end and they'd be reading out, and you'd just be wanting to know Wednesday, Newcastle, Chelsea, how they got on, and they'd read the results out, and you'd be cheering or booing, as the results came, because you just didn't know what was happening.
Remember the old pictures as well, when everyone at the end, everyone would be stood round a television shop, the television shops. Everyone's looking at the tellies, waiting for the final score.
Yeah, and then you could almost, the way they read them out, they'd go, Manchester City 1. And you could tell by the tone of voice that it was going to be,
That's right, the pitch of the voice.
And then, and they,
so for anybody who wasn't familiar with it, Rich, say CFAX, you used to look at CFAX to get your results too. How did that work? Was that on telly, or was that more on computer?
302 was the football, 312 was 326
501
page, and then you got your results on different things.
Could you get that when you moved out to Australia? Could you get access to that? Do you remember? Were you ever able to get access to that when?
It died.
Or was it just a UK thing?
That was a UK, I think. I don't know about Australia.
I'll tell you what we did get.
Oracle
40
on
minutes
ITV.
after the full-time whistle, you got the Saturday pink.
Oh yeah.
40 minutes.
Big Rhino.
You've never known. I'll tell you what, these journals have got laser. Back in the day, 40 minutes after the match report was out and in the paper. Now it takes 3 bloody days.
That's right. How quick was it?
It was hilarious, though, because say it was 1-1 at half time, and then the second half it was 4-3 to City. There'd be about 20 paragraphs about the 1-1, and then they'd cram the last half hour of the game.
93rd minute winner in at the last second.
And it gets about 1 sentence at the end, all this thing, and then City came back and won in the last minute. Paul Power scored.
When he did that? When we beat Sheffield Wednesday 3-2. You remember we're 2-0 down. Hurst had scored, and then we came back and we beat them 3-2. We threw Rosler, and they were absolutely fuming, and no one, and that's how the match report was like. It was like 1 sentence at the end. City was 2 down, and they were like, we're not coming back.
Because in the end, I just used to get the pink on a Sunday morning, because the version on a Sunday morning had complete reports and ratings and all sorts of stuff. So I just used to go down to Mrs. Scott's on Beaver Road and get the pink every Sunday morning about 8 o'clock or whenever I was up.
Done the best, man. I'll give you
reading the pink.
I'll give you a memory. And you'll all remember this. Obviously, there was the primary school over the road from the stadium.
Yeah,
I always remember.
Yeah,
I always
that's right.
remember they weren't on a bus because they weren't allowed, because the main road pitch was absolutely
minibus,
and would get cut up at anything training on it. They literally trained in the gym.
They
in the school to do the match warm up. Nicky Weaver and all that. And
Spencer Pryor told us that.
Yeah, they had a sponge ball because they couldn't have a proper football in a little sports gym.
Yes,
and they literally got on this bus.
Yeah,
it was a clapped out, knackered old bus. And then of all things, the bus broke down one week, and they had to walk through the whole crowd to get into the stadium.
Wasn't that
coming out of Jimmy Grimble?
Wasn't that variety van? Bernard Manning one?
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah, it was like we didn't have a
Variety Club of Great Britain. Yeah,
because he used to do all that, didn't he?
Unreal.
The other thing I got annoyed at, for years and years, the souvenir shop, and when we found out it wasn't owned by City, it was independent.
Yeah.
That was everyone went mad about that.
That shop was just across the street from the school, wasn't it?
That wasn't a souvenir shop. That was an office that you could swing a cat round in.
No, it was.
True.
Oh yeah. Anybody's asked me, they said like, "Oh, what's that gift shop like?" It's like, just go into the back of Mary D's.
I couldn't believe it wasn't owned by the club though.
And that's pretty much the same size.
Do you remember birthdays? Do you remember birthdays when it was around? And it used to have like a City section. Yeah, it used to have a little City section and a little Man United section. The Man United section was always bigger. It was like that, the gift shop. It was horrendous.
There was nothing there, was it? Yeah.
It was run by a guy called Eddie Phillips, who ran. Right. He had a newsagent in Didsbury, opposite where I went to primary school, and his son Michael was in the year below me. He had a daughter a bit below that, and I can't remember, his wife was Val or something, and she used to be the main face at the club shop because Eddie wasn't even there always. He was often running the paper shop.
Yeah, it's not owned by
How they got away with that for years, I don't know.
Because Swales sold,
he sold the copyright.
City didn't own the bars in the ground. They didn't own the piper.
Rich, sorry to jump in. According to JMCFC, we don't own the souvenir shop now. It's rented out.
Hey, that's a bit mad, isn't it?
We own the merchandise. We didn't even own our.
We own the merchandise.
I mean, that's the whole reason we had the Eagle badge.
All right,
because
we owned by Duck.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine St. Francis when he's got all his consortium together and they finally managed to edge out Swales, and Swales then mentions they don't own the copyright to the original badge. Yeah, sorry about that, Francis. I meant to mention it in the books, but I sold it to Eddie. You got to see Eddie about that one in the back room.
We don't own the bars. We don't. I've rented out the bars for the next 10 years to mates, and we don't own. It was mad.
It's no wonder he wouldn't show him the books, and so we were stuck with the Eagle. I'm sure Francis and his design team had great, aspirations, and it seemed to make sense. But I didn't like that badge. I don't care what we wanted under that badge. I didn't like it.
Lazio, wasn't it? It was just like being Lazio for years. That's what I thought.
3 stars though. We got 3 stars on it.
Yeah.
Going back a bit. Like they got the print works. Well, it used to be called Thompson House, and I used to be a messenger boy for the Daily Telegraph in Thompson House, and we used to we got all on the sports desk, the news desk, and we used to get all the news coming in because the Telegraph was a good paper then. It was really good for information and got it quick, and I used to love it in there. It was great. And that's how I learned how to drink, really, because I was one of the youngest ones, and they were all like, this is the news gang that I used to be with, and they're all like African lads, and they used to go in the press clubs at night, and they taught me how to drink them. It was like straight from school, and what it was, when you became I was 16, 17, and when you became 18, the next one in line got a press card. And what that meant, you was made. If you got a press card, you was in. And I had like a month to go, and I was the next one in line, and I thought, I'm in. Anyway, this lad was behind me a couple of months, and he got it before me because he knew someone better. He knew someone, so it was who you knew, not what you knew. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was gutted. And then I met him a few years later. He was 17, it was 18. I met him a few years later, and he says, how'd you go? Are you still working there? He said, no. They made me redundant 2 years later, and I got £16,000 2 years later.
Wow.
So, geez. Wow. So, 20, he got 16 grand. So, but that was a great time, that. Thompson House. Now the print works. Brilliant.
Guys, ask a question, man.
My memories of Maine Road was obviously the first game was the 1971-72 season, and I remember Maine Road was Maine Road then when they had the kickbacks and it was all stood up, and the corners were proper corners, and then the flat lane was a proper stand. Yes, it was wood seats, but it was a proper stand until Peter Swales destroyed it and put what I call a Crystal Palace stand in at one end, and then Franny Lee put in the cheap kickbacks when they couldn't stand up anymore because of the Hillsborough disaster, and they cut the corners off. And that at that point, I was happy to leave Main Road and go to the Etihad. But when I first went, I had a season ticket in the kickbacks when I first went with my dad. It was all the box where you had to rip the page out and paint the turnstile that way through the and then my dad and I and my Uncle Eddie at the time went in the Platt Lane.
Is that your Uncle Eddie Large?
Yeah, and then we went in the Platt Lane for a few years, and then to return to the kickbacks, and then when the kickbacks was getting knocked down, I moved to the main stand. And I was two rows from the back, right in front of Ian Cheeseman's little thing at the back where he was doing his commentary for so I was going to Main Road, geez. And it was good because the first few years that I went, well, when I got to about 13, 14 years of age, my dad played cricket with a guy who used to be a policeman at Main Road and used to sit round the touchline. So he used to take us in for free, me and like called Phil Hayes used to go in, and he put us on the front row of the Platt Lane stand, free of charge. And then we wait for him at the end, and he'd take us through the tunnel, and then through that little gym you saw them play on, and then out. Yeah. So we went for a few years where we were getting in for nothing. And I've done the old trick of going under the turnstile a few times as well on my hands and knees in the kickback stand. That was the thing as well. That way I enjoyed that. And City in the 70s were a good side. They were a decent outfit. Finished second behind Liverpool. Well, lost the League Cup in 74, won the League Cup in 76. We were always like at the top of the tree, really. And United struggled in the 70s.
We were good till we got ahead of ourselves in 79.
Yeah.
And he
Malcolm.
Back, Allison
Malcolm
came back.
Yeah, when Allison came back, he destroyed it. Stupid. Yeah.
Alan, you'll probably remember as well, Chappie. When we used to get the programs, and you got the programs every week, or if you can get extra as well, because when we used to get the tokens in the program.
That's right.
You collected the tokens so you could get a cup ticket.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I remember doing that.
You had to collect
those programs are hilarious. I was going through one the other week. I was tidying up in the study and looking through a few old programs, and I came across one of the editions with Miss Manchester City. Like, there's like about 30 people competing for Miss Manchester City, and then a photo of them in there and a bit of a biography of them, and it was just you're just thinking, the world has certainly changed those days. But,
I remember going to Main Road, obviously when I used to go with my dad, and you go past the social club, which you go Junior Blues at the weekends and go occasionally in there. But I remember going in the old souvenir shop, which was like just one big brick building, and it wasn't big at all. You go in, there's always the same woman behind the counter. Used to go next to that was Stan Gibson's house. It was the groundsman's house. Yeah, his house was there, right next to the north stand and the main stand. So I'll always remember that.
And then behind that, you have the social club.
Yeah.
When are you in the Junior Blues? Like that. That is a thing that shows out.
It was hard to get in there.
Yeah, it was. It was a bit of a nightmare, and it was a bit of a nightmare. I always remember when we left the game, we walked down Claremont Road, and me Uncle Eddie, if he drove, always parked on the other side of Princess Parkway, and we jump in he had an old Allegro car, right? And we jumped in the back, and it was
we had one of them.
I know, three across
the front. Yeah,
my dad and my Uncle Eddie, and he'd have Sports Report on BBC Sports Report. And it always here's Division 1. They give the results out. And what you said before, you could tell off the tone of the voice of, was it Christopher Markin Jenkins who used to read them out?
Yeah.
And it was Manchester City 2, Manchester United 0. You could tell, and we'd all like cheer. But I remember those days. Great days.
But anyway,
Do
you remember Joe's a
Martin.
pretty fantastic blue? Did you used to listen to Piccadilly?
Yeah.
Did you used to listen to Piccadilly radio? Do you remember every night? I don't know. It was 8 or 9 o'clock. James H. Reeve did his.
He's brilliant. He's brilliant.
Huge blue. Very, very caustic. Very funny bloke. I remember as a teenager just listening to James H. Reeve every night. I went to bed listening to Piccadilly radio.
He hated, you know. The best when he did the when he's on YouTube, you can do it. James H. Reeve when he was introducing Bernard Manning at the Bernard Manning's Club, and absolutely hilarious, brilliant.
Yeah, and he I remember he actually he got suspended a couple of times by Piccadilly. Once because when the Queen, remember the Queen got shot with a blank. Some guy shot a blank. He was on the radio at the time, and he played Killer Queen by Queen. So he got lost his job for a couple of months, got it back, and then he got. You remember when he listened to Piccadilly on Saturday? If you weren't in the game, and if it would go, it's a goal because a Manchester team had scored.
Oh, no,
that's right. Yeah, who to hate that?
Oh no!
Oh no!
It was usually City after
no.
But he played "It's a Goal" when someone had scored against United, and then half ballistic because it wasn't a Manchester club. It was someone like Everton had scored, and he played that, and he got suspended over that as well.
Mike Sweeney was complaining about him
in the morning.
Do you know that question in the chat, Martin?
No, I was waiting for Pat. It's Pat's show, mate. It's not mine. I'm waiting for Pat.
No, sorry.
No,
I know, but you're there all the time.
I just wanted. No, you go on. I was just going to share something with you guys in a second. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Right. You want me to do? Right. Well, here's the question. At the Etihad, there's only one thing from Maine Road, and today sits proudly as a memory from Maine Road. Can you name what the item is? I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Didn't they bring
Do you mean it's on public display? The blue sign mosaic, because that's stowed away.
That was going to be my guess. It was the mosaic.
That came from
mosaic.
Yeah, there's like a storage area inside.
Yeah, the mural
inside the spirals, but to go up to the upper tiers. Yeah, and it's stowed away in one of them somewhere. I don't know which one, but yeah.
I'm
not the main entrance to mosaic.
I could be wrong, but yeah, it's a good question.
Sorry, I'm not on the top tiers. I'm on the bottom area with the proper
prawn sandwich.
The hoi polloi.
There he is.
Proletariat.
Prawn mustard.
He says no. On display. Come on.
Want the main entrance or a mosaic as well?
No, he said it's not.
That's
it. Yeah, that's not the mosaic.
Yeah, that's it.
Over the top.
Macca, Governor, can I ask you at half time when you were a kid at Maine Road, what did you used to get at half time?
He used to get a bovril and a pie.
Oh. Did you? What did you get, Macca?
Yeah, it was the worst bovril.
As a kid.
Alleged meat pies, but no meat in them.
I used to get bovril and a wagon wheel.
Oh, wagon
wheel.
Depends
on the time of year.
Wagon as well nowadays.
I used to get
big wagon wheels. Yeah.
It's like March, April, September. September. I'd always get a Vinto with those straws that you'd smack through the top.
But not in December, January, February.
And in the game, I always used to get a little pack of Burton's fish and chips. I loved them. Yeah. Do you remember them? Little white. It was a little crisp packet, which was white and black like newspaper.
1 minute
with fish and chips in red, and they were like salt and vinegar flavored. And they were like, some of them were shaped like little chips, and some of them were shaped like little fish. And they always had them at Maine Road. I used to love them.
Right. He said, hang on. He's just said you can see it every time. Pep. So you're talking about in the tunnel area, aren't you? I know where you mean now. Are you talking? Because there's two press conferences. There's one in the
press
CLA,
conference.
There's one in the CFA where he does the pre-match stuff. That's at the CFA. On the city thing.
But he's saying what's in the ground that's come from
one
Maine
in
Road.
the stadium. There is one in the stadium. He does post-match.
Yeah.
The one at the CFA is bigger. It's like a big lecture hall. The one at the stadium is always talking the one that he does in like that little alcove just behind the tunnel. I know where he means on that one. The pressure.
That's brilliant.
The mosaic is at the Etihad, but it's in the Memorial Garden at the Etihad.
No, he said the press room. Go on then, we give up.
It's not the real rooms that.
Because just sidetracking from that, Martin, you know the advertising boarding they put behind the press conferences.
Yeah.
The old one from Maine Road, that is actually still up. It's still up in the top level of Mary D's, which is only accessible to OSC members.
Yeah.
They've still got it up there. It's sitting up against the wall, so you can actually just sit up there and you can actually just.
Well, the answer is not me.
Yeah, so the old one with the old IDOS one is still up there. So if you ever, Alan, when you're over,
they are.
you're a Melbourne member.
The reception table. The press table is from reception at Maine Road.
Okay.
Now, my daughter's just come back from England. She's been there 2 years. She came back last week, and she brought these back. Now, I used to have the syrup. This is powder form.
Really? Because I get Bovril. I get Bovril at South Melbourne Market. They sell it.
But it's not. It's,
okay.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not the original. But Alan, the stuff they sell in Australia is the non-meat version of it. The Bovril that comes here is vegetarian. You can still get the proper meat made with the bone in the UK, but I've had it in Australia, but it's a veggie version.
What about the Marmite then?
I don't like Marmite.
You get it in Coles.
But I've got Marmite.
They've got Coles.
Yeah, you get Bovril in Coles, but
they've got them in Coles here.
But yeah,
and it's UK section. But
never seen them.
These are the things we're missing.
Coles
never seen them in powder form.
Coles launched today a massive range of Marks and Spencer's British Christmas food.
No way, really?
Yeah. All those
I really have not got a plan. And I don't do sprays.
I'll have a look. I'll go in tomorrow. Get in.
Just hold on for a second too. Foggy again coming in large with the 10 Mancunian Way gifted membership. So big up to you, mate. Obviously our biggest contributor. Big up to yourself and thank you very much. If you got a membership from him, obviously W's in the chat. So thank you very much, mate. I wanted to pass this one on to Alan because it did occur to me that I had this sitting in my
membership giveaway.
Yep. Is that on Thursday night chat?
No, 11 days. Another month.
Oh, 11 days. Okay. All right. I wanted to show him this, something that was given to me by a mutual friend of mine over in Manchester. You were going to games back then, but it's a match day program from Saturday, the 2nd of December, 1972. Manchester City against Ipswich Town.
Wow.
I'm going to ask you the question. Do you remember the score? Were you at that game? Do you remember the score?
I don't remember the score, no. Because I was only 6.
All right, I've got a trivia question in a minute for you all.
I'm the same 6.
I bet you don't get it.
What I wanted to quickly, just before you do, Mark, I just wanted to go on. You may not remember it too, Alan, but the previous home game, because obviously, as you know, the matchday programs obviously show highlights of or photos and highlights of the previous game. The previous home match before we played Ipswich Town was on the 18th of November, 1972, and we played Manchester United. We beat them 3-0. Colin Bell scored twice. And if you have a look, I think on about page 10, I think it is, they've got some photos from the actual match itself.
72 was it, or 71?
It was a 72-73 season. You might remember it. We had a poor start to the season. I think we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We lost 7 of our first 10 games.
Wow. Yeah, 3-0 against United. Yeah, Colin Bell.
Yeah, beat United 3-0. Beat United 3-0. Colin Bell scored 1, and there was no goal from one of their players.
Martin Buchan.
Buchan, that's it. Yeah.
Beg your pardon.
Booker was the guy that.
Oh, I thought you said
he finished Colin Bell, didn't he?
He was the one that cropped Colin Bell and wrecked his Achilles in the ACL.
He'd done him in.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. There's a photo of Martin Booker and Colin Bell.
Do you want a Maine Road? Yep. You want a Maine Road memory from me?
Cool,
Not that it's a memory I've got, but my father has played on the Hallow turf of Maine Road.
Wow.
There you go.
But Manchester City reserves against Man United reserves. I know I've told that story.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Where do you prefer, where do you prefer the atmosphere, Maine Road or the Etihad?
Maine Road, hands down.
Maine Road all day long for me.
Maine Road, yeah. I think
here's my question.
There's no Premier League grounds with atmospheres like there were.
What did we have at Maine Road? We've never had at the Etihad. Because we got grass. I don't mean exactly, but there was something we had at Maine Road we never had at the Etihad.
What did we have at Maine Road?
It is a slight trick question.
Right, hang
on.
Dreams.
No, we have nightmares.
Standing.
A second set of accounts.
We got standing at the Etihad, Rich.
Oh yeah, safe standing though. What about unsafe standing?
We had
standing.
We had proper floodlights at Maine Road. We didn't
outside. Outside toilets.
Yeah,
nope. You got them at the Etihad now.
A souvenir shop owned by a newsagent.
Do I know? Do y'all give up?
Go on,
you've got standing at the Etihad. You've got safe standing, but it's
is it something to do with the pipes under the pitch at Maine Road?
You had a 3-man subs bench.
Right, yeah.
I told you it was a trick question. I said it was
Martin, that's playing with the rules, mate.
It was a trick question. I own do it as a trick question.
Just another one there.
Playing with the rules.
You see that,
Martin, you're showing your youth there.
Who's advertising in the back pages?
No, you're showing your age.
Who's it?
You're saying it's one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, is it the record store?
100 years.
Electrical store.
Yeah, TV.
I believe it is, yeah.
Standing.
32 John Street, Altrincham.
Still standing.
Yeah.
You also had stores in Macclesfield, Sale, Stretford, and many other branches.
And we didn't have lucky Thai charms buried under the pitch either.
I'll give you a memory of my worst one, and it was nothing even to do. It was when that atrocity of a stand was built by Franny Lane.
Oh yeah.
It was Turner, Peter Swell.
The Platt Lane still kind of resembled the stand, and it fitted in. It wasn't the same, but it fitted. The Kippax was just a monstrosity of blindness.
It was shite.
Why that was ever built. But anyway. And they had a car park. Do you remember the car park behind the Kippax?
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah.
And there was a car park at the back of the Kippax. You come down Claremont Road, go right, and you went into this car park. Because when I sat in the Kippax, and I remember we played Middlesbrough in the FA Cup. And I remember
Tuesday night.
No, it was a weekend. Saturday night. Juninho bagged.
Okay.
And I remember it absolutely kicking off to a point. There was little kids hiding in betting shops. And the biggest memory I've got from it is Dad's driving out the car park and this proper brick, like you get in your house, comes across the windscreen, that close from going into the windscreen. And there was a police horse got onto the bonnet of the car. It was the worst experience I've ever had in a football game.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. I said Tuesday night because we had loads of trouble with Middlesbrough on a Tuesday night in a cup game.
Remember Millwall?
I remember that.
Millwall were chucking all the bog rolls and ripping the seats out at us. when we beat them.
Yeah. Hang on, it's not a Maine Road memory, but you've got a good memory of Millwall, don't you, Macca? It's one of your favourite stories.
Yeah, Gibson's Green.
I do.
Rich and I were both away, weren't we? Was it Millwall away? And they kept us in.
No, we had no fans at Millwall away. That's when Darren Upton went like that to the empty stand.
No, the season before that.
No, this was before it. I'm pretty sure this was before it. Yeah.
I think
we had
a good celebrity
celebrity
spotting. I think we. Yeah. And when we got out, the cops are saying we had to keep you in this long because we were trying to get rid of the Millwall. They couldn't get to you, so they just decided to have a go at us. And the cops spent it was almost an hour and a half when it just trying to disperse them. It was a scary day. And I remember getting on the.
Baby says here he remembers when they came to Maine Road. He remembers them smashing up restaurant.
Yeah. Well, I got back on the train.
Would any of you there when we played Coventry, the FA Cup, and Coventry fans had the All the North stand
on Valentine's Day?
And they invaded the main stand and kept trying to kick shit out of everybody, and everyone came out of the game and just waited round the North stand for it to come out.
Taking liberties.
I can't remember. Was it when Noel Whelan scored, or was it Onlove? Peter Onlove always scored against us. Yeah, Maine Road was always famous of if a striker had never scored, it'd have been on like a 10-game barren run. Stick a tenner on him scoring at Maine Road.
Yeah.
There was two things. Alan Shearer scored at Maine Road every single time he rocked up. Yeah. He just loved the damn place. And then you had like silliness. I can't remember who it was. There was a player who hadn't scored for donkey's years. There was one we even had. Remember Bob Taylor? Scored a goal for fun for Gillingham, came to our place and couldn't hit a cow's ass with a banjo.
Yeah.
And Lee Bob.
Do you remember when we signed Bob Taylor? They called him like the Division 2 Dennis Bergkamp.
We got the wrong one. We should have got Carlos Arbor. We got the wrong one out of those two.
He was some player.
That's like there's a famous story of AC Milan when they signed Luther Blissett and they thought they were signing John Barnes. And there's a story about this, like they signed the wrong player. And they wanted Luther Blissett to go out on the wing. they signed the wrong player. Like, clueless.
I'll tell you, I have done. I took a couple of American mates who come over, took them to where Maine Road was. Now, and all the streets and all the thing are named after Sir. You got Kippax Road, the North End,
Citizens Lane or something.
You've still got Gibson's Green in the middle.
But I said to you when you took me there, Martin, it's funny because
I took you there as well, didn't I?
Yeah, when you're walking along and you sort of you see Gibson's Green, that sort of thing, you're like, okay, you kind of put in perspective like where you are. But I think it's once you walk away from there and you start walking through the terraced houses again, you're like, I recognize that photo. I recognize where the stand is in relation to where that photo was taken. It's like when you're standing in the grass and in that list of properties, that housing where the pitch stood, you can't really get a perspective, but it's the photos of the terraced housing that bring it back. If you see enough of those photos, that's when you start to get your bearings. Like, that was the Kippax.
It's the back alleys. It's the back alleys that look different.
I don't want to see it though. I've never been back because I don't want to see it. My head, it's always there. And if I go back and see some like red brick,
it's different, Rich. It's very different because
it'd be horrible.
Do you know when we were at Maine Road and you had
because it's like 30 years?
You had all the back alleys, didn't you? You had all them back alleys. Them back alleys don't feel anywhere near intimidating anymore because it's got a big housing estate now and everything's plush. It doesn't feel the same without a big stand around it and a big state. But when you get there, you look at it, and this is what Pat was mentioning then, and it was when you stand at Gibson's Green, because I said to Pat, that was the Kippax, that's the North Stand, that was the main stand, that was Platt Lane, the Umbro stand, whatever it was called by the time we left. And I was even saying that was where that scoreboard was. That was where the Gene Kelly first stand was. Then there was a Gene Kelly second stand, and I'm showing him because in my head, it's still there. I was there. Because
but as you said, when you were relaying that to me in the middle of like Gibson's Green, I'm kind of like, okay. But then we walked back. Like I think you parked the car like a block or two away, and we kind of walked a long way around to the car. And then all of a sudden, I started recognizing. I was like, "Yep, that's where." Yep. And then it all sort of.
I even showed you. I was like trying to guess. Remember when we did the pitch invasion at Wigan when we got to Wembley in '99?
Yeah.
And we all ran on the pitch. I was trying to figure out where I was stood on the pitch. I'm like, I'm sure it's here, right? And I'm trying to pace it out in my mind where I was. It's like crazy.
Going back to your question, Martin, Blue Heart had probably got a good question there. Helen's bell has never sounded at the Etihad.
Oh, that's a good call.
Didn't she pass away before we moved?
I think she did.
Yeah.
So that's a good one, that Blue Heart.
I tell you what, there's always seats.
Do they still have Helen's bell? Do they have it? Do they still have it on display, or is it kept somewhere?
No. You want to ask Simon Annabelle? Because she used to run the supporters club. Coach used to go on, and basically all the kids were absolutely terrified of her. She was, ruled over them with a rod of iron.
She used to sell flowers outside the hospital. She used to sell flowers outside lunch, didn't she?
They were scared shitless of her.
Yeah, we used to go on the Mainway coaches, Mainway and transit vans.
Yeah.
Did they have
when we was young and foolish.
Did they have Mostonian back then? Or was that just coming? I don't know.
Mostonian, yeah. They did, yeah. Mostonian, yeah, they did. Coaches, yeah. Yep. They went from what's that pub called? I forgot the pub now in Failsworth. We used to go from there sometimes. It was a supporters club in Failsworth.
Yeah, Willow Tavern. I don't know.
The what?
The Willow Tavern.
Oh, that's good.
No. Can't remember. There's a pub in Failsworth.
Remember that, guys? That was the Kipax boys before they built that shite stand.
Yeah, I was in that. I was in that
when he was in that
for Kipak's last stand when we played. Who did we play on Kipak's last stand?
Chelsea.
Oh, Macca with the knowledge there. Do you remember the scoreline?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say, was it 2-0? I know we lost. Oh, no, 2-2 was it? 2-2.
Yeah, look at him here. He's pulling out the...
26,000.
You know what I remember about that day? We were telling Chelsea, because Chelsea were playing Man United the week later in the FA Cup final at Wembley, if you remember. They got beat 4-0.
Do you know
we were telling the Chelsea fans to go and slap United around at Wembley.
What I always remembered about the Kipax when I was young was coming out that tunnel there, that white tunnel there, from the back of the stand, and looking behind me at the top of that tunnel there. Pete the Badge used to stand there every fucking week. Pete the Badge. Let's face it, he's an institution, isn't he, Pete the Badge?
Yeah.
He was still
By the way, I gave him one of our Sydney Blues pins when we played Liverpool about 3-4 seasons ago, and he's still. If you ever see photos of him now, he's always wearing it. It's one of the he wears dozens of them, but if you have a close look, he's wearing one of our.
He's got a Melbourne one as well from.
That's right. Yeah,
he's got a Melbourne one. But if anyone doesn't know who Pete the Badge, I'll try and find a picture of him here.
You can't miss him.
He's brilliant.
Here's another one for you. So, I mentioned earlier. Any of you ever in the Junior Blues when you were a kid? Yes. That was bloody unbelievable. Once a month on a Sunday morning, and you go down into the social club, and the players would be there, mingling with the kids, and you get your Christmas birthday card every year, signed by a couple of players. And Uncle Harry Godwin, and and they do that pantomime where a number
Christmas
of
panto
down there doing a Christmas panto, which players imagine that today. Haaland would probably love it. Actually. He'd probably love it in a Christmas panto.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
And you used to get a little Junior Blue pack when you joined.
Yeah. I've still got a scarf, that little white silk scarf.
Yeah. That's Pete the Badge.
Have you seen Erling's channel when he on Halloween he decides to go out into Manchester dressed?
You mean when he copies me?
when it,
The Joker.
what,
Yeah.
The hilarious thing is he's like a 6'6" Norwegian
Yeah.
with long hair, and then he's surprised that everyone guesses it's him. When it's not that many like 6'6".
Don't tell me Erling
No.
Haaland doesn't watch the Mancunian way because he got that inspiration off me.
Oh, Foggy.
Yeah.
He's a subscriber.
Finland. Let's go. Where is it?
Fox coaches.
He mentioned Finland's. That's on this brochure.
Finland, yeah.
Yeah,
Finland's
it's on a program that I've got. Yeah. Funny you mentioned that, mate.
So go on then, Rich. What was your
Finland as well, Foggy? Yeah, I remember that.
What was your best memory of Maine Road?
Best memory. Yeah, I think it was the first second when I walked out on the first game. You know, it was actually my first game was the main stand, and I think it was just the noise, the colour, it was just so bloody exciting. And watching the game, and it was a 1-1 draw. And I just remember it was I don't know what it was. It was something intangible. Going in the ground, so many people, so much noise, so much happiness and bloody unhappiness, depending on who scored. And I reckon that the first moment when the game started, and then probably when we scored the first goal, Trevor Francis scored the first goal I ever saw at Maine Road. But I reckon that first memory, and then there's loads of memories after that, good games and stuff. But I don't think anything ever had the effect on me as that first being at a live football, 30,000 crowd, and just the noise and just everything. It was just like
we grew up in the Kippax, but I don't know if it that did it when you grew up in the Kippax. I don't know if it'd be any different if your first games went in the Platt Lane or the North Stand, whether it'd be different atmosphere. But to grow up in the Kippax,
first two. Like I didn't go in the Kippax probably the first 2 seasons I went. We sat in the main stand. I think when I was probably 9. I used to go.
When I was older, I went in the main stand.
And he's like, right, you can come in the Kippax with me now. And but I used to go down the front in the Kippax because I was too short. As a 9-year-old to see much football if you're at the back. So most of the kids used to go down the front, and at the beginning it was all right, but then you had the metal bars down the front because once it had that was after Heysel, wasn't it, where they started putting in the or was it after Luton against Millwall? You won't get
to stay over the white wall, Rich.
They're both around the same time.
You were down. The white wall had that massive metal about, I don't know, it seemed about 10 foot to me. It was probably like 6 foot. And you'd stand there with your hands on the bars like you're in prison watching the game between the bars.
Yeah, it was like that.
Remember when you was a kid in the Kippax, they always put you in front of the bars because so you don't get crushed. Do you know what I mean? When you was a kid, everyone put you in front.
They didn't.
Well, all the kids used to sit on the wall when I first went. The white
wall. Until they put the bars in.
That's right.
And they'd just say, stay there. And my dad would be like 10 yards further back, further up, where you could see me. I could see him. And when all the kids just stayed there, I said, I'll come for you at half time. We'll go and get a wagon wheel.
Yeah.
And what have you. That's what
now and again, you'd get a grumpy steward. You know what gets me today? The stewards, I remember at Maine Road, they used to sort of know the stewards. Do you know what I mean? The regular ones.
They were City fans.
Yeah, that's it. They were all City fans. And these days now, they're just independent companies these security firms. And they don't support City and that. Do you know what I mean? But at Maine Road, you knew them. I knew. There's a few of my mates that used to be stewards as well. All City fans. Slow changed.
Great memories. Great memories.
Yeah.
Going to the games. Great memories.
Yeah.
I still.
I preferred the away games better though. I did prefer away games more. Yeah, so you got especially when you went down first and second division, because you got a different pubs and all. It was brilliant going away. It was brilliant down there.
Season was hilarious. Just how bad some of the grounds were and how. And
the policing. These teams couldn't afford the policing down there, so it was it was pretty free then. Obviously, when you get back in the first, you know, they could afford the policing, so there was a lot more. But yeah, it was brilliant.
It depends where you went as well, because like you go to away games far away, or in Division 2, you'd be going to like Northampton or Chesterfield or stuff like that, and it was fine. But you'd still have games where you go to somewhere like some of the worst away games, like, apart from Millwall, is go to Stoke and Port Vale. That is bloody. That's rough. That whole place, Stoke, is just rough. Like, you know, you go places like that, like the big Premier League teams, the biggest rivals, like if you go to like Everton or whatever, was a bit, you know, they were a bit more used to it, so there's a bit more police. But Stoke, I remember going to Stoke.
The Black Country was pretty bad back then too, wasn't it? Walsall, Wolves, West Brom. They were all
the worst grounds to travel to was Swindon and places like Swindon and Reading, because there was no direct train there. You know what I mean? So that's where we used to go in transit vans, because there was no direct train to places like Swindon and Reading. They were terrible places to get to.
Funniest Governor was at Swindon, Governor. You know, outside the back of Swindon, there's like the park, like the big parkland just out the back of it. Like,
I can't remember.
If you ever want to laugh, you go and watch Oxford Swindon there, and they all just go outside and just have a fight in the park afterwards. But like not like really organised fight. It's just like random fans, just like
the away games, Rich. They used to have a match special going from Piccadilly, and it was all rickety old trains that, because they knew the fans would go and drink and wreck the fucking thing.
Yeah.
We never got the charters. We always used to get the service trains.
And we used to go all the way to the matches. Jesus Christ, it was shit trains, really shit. Not like in the intercity ones now, but it was a real.
No, we'd go early, get on the service.
Yeah, brilliant, great memories, great.
Brilliant.
Getting the pink final from the newsagents when I got back to my dad's. Used to go down to the newsagent for my dad with the dog and just going at the pig final. Tremendous.
So the place, I've never been to an away game, which people used to say was like one of the roughest places to go. And I've got a mate whose dad was in the forces, and he was up there on a stag do with 8 mates, and they got beaten up. It was the Carlisle United. They said that was always like a really.
I got Burnley.
He was out with 8 military mates, and they got beaten up by Carlisle fans.
Yeah. The only place I've ever had was Burnley. The worst one I got was, remember we beat Burnley away 6-0?
Yeah.
We had to run back to the van then. Because we come from the, do you remember the old Lancaster club?
Yeah.
That in Failsworth. And it was crazy because we literally we got a bus from there, down to Burnley, beat them 6-0, come on. And we came out of Turf Moor and we had a line of security. And everyone's giving it all, you know, you've got 6 fingers, your auntie's your mum, your sister's your wife, and all that was going on. Then all of a sudden the police just disappeared. And then it was like, right, now
every man for himself.
And it was like the A-team. I kid you not, they parked on like some supermarket. And I'm kid you not, I've never jumped into a moving van before. This is before I jumped. They opened the door and I jumped headfirst into a van before I was going to get my head weighed in at Burnley. I was like, never again.
The Scouts police were like that. They didn't give a shit about you.
I don't know if this is true or not, but my perspective on Burnley, I'm sure I read it somewhere as well, is it has like the highest percentage of people in Burnley who support Burnley of any like town in Britain. And I don't think I've ever met I've never met like a United fan or a City fan from Burnley. They all support Burnley, and it's like, and so you'd have no one, like everyone around there would be like knowing the place like the back of their hand, knowing where they could get you, knowing they probably know the police because the police are probably all from Burnley, all bloody Burnley fans. So somewhere like that, and it's a reasonably rough place, now.
I'll tell you, the worst one I've had. The worst one I've had was Ellen Road coming out of Leeds in my dad and my granddad, right? And we were 1978. We played in the FA Cup. We won 2-0, and and the away fans were on the side paddock, and we came out. They kept us in for about 15, 20 minutes, and we came out, and we were parked up near the Ellen pub, my dad's car, and we had to separate away from the City fans. And when we did, we got chased by Leeds fans up this road. And I remember I had to hide, as only a young kid, had to hide under a car. And my granddad and my dad came out. I couldn't find my dad or my granddad. I've never been so shit scared in all my life. They were crazy, Leeds. Absolutely crazy.
You know,
I remember we had a night game in Liverpool, and the City buses, double-decker buses, were near the ground, and they were parked up, and you got Stanley Park behind you, and it was a night game, and everyone's trying to get on these buses, and there's bricks coming over from Stanley Park. It's pitch black. And they're coming over the privets. We stood waiting for the buses, and the copper said they didn't give a shit about us. They said, if you don't get on this bus, said, we're all going now. Said, and you're on your own. So the door shut on this bus, and we just prized the door open on the bus and got in. I don't know what happened to the rest, but these bricks just kept coming over from Stanley Park.
Yeah,
it was a nightmare.
Yeah,
crazy.
That's what it was like in the 80s and 90s when it was just like that.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Going back to Ellen Road, my uncle always tells me about the first time he went to an away. You know, there's that kind of tunnel bridge when you're going up to the stadium. At Leeds fans,
everyone talks about that, Rich, don't they? They say that there's always like bricks falling off, and they used to just throw bricks from the bridge. And,
but no, they used to piss in pint glasses and then just drop them down when the away fans came, and there'd just be these exploding pint glasses just splashing piss everywhere.
So it was just like being an oasis,
I went there a couple of years ago, and it wasn't.
Very creative.
When we won 4-0, and it was a lot different. Then you still have to go through about 100-meter wire cage to get into the away end. So you still have to go through that, and the away end hasn't changed since the 80s. It's bloody tiny. You squeeze through a normal door pretty much to get into the stand when you got 2,000 away fans or whatever, and they go. So it's like going back in time, but it's not as rough around the ground now. There's too many police and helicopters and everything else.
Great days, great memories.
Brilliant.
I just describe it. People were just a bit giddy, you know. They just a bit silly in those days, weren't they? We all got a bit carried away.
Have you ever been to a ground? I went to Brentford once, and you've got to the ground and they call it off. We did it. It was at Brentford. It was a 3 o'clock kickoff. We got into Brentford at 12 o'clock, and the coach had pulled up, and it was on the radio and on the coach saying the game has just been called off.
2017, Borussia Mönchengladbach. I was over, and we'd parked the car, had dinner, and we're walking to ground, and the rain was so strong, they pulled the game. I think they played it the next night, but we couldn't go. So that was called off within half an hour kickoff.
China 2016 pre-season. I was there.
Does anyone remember smart games getting called off? Does anyone remember Ipswich Town at Maine Road?
I was there.
I was there.
City go 1-0 up. I was there. There is a tsunami that appears. Just happened somewhere. I don't know where the hell it came from. They are now swimming at this point. There's no football being played. The referee is begging Ipswich to equalise so he can just go, we're going.
And then we score.
And then Ipswich equalise, and he goes, right, we're done.
I remember I was there.
They didn't equalise. We were 2 up. When it got pulled off.
I know
we scored again, not Ipswich, and then because I think it's when David Raycastle was playing, and it was about 40 minutes, wasn't it? They called it off.
Okay.
It was horrendous.
It was after Rocastle.
People would do like a 25-meter pass, and it would go about.
It was under Joe Royal.
Yeah, I remember it. I remember that.
But they were passing it like 30 meters, and it would stop about 5 meters from their foot.
It wasn't going anywhere. It was just begging to stop it.
What was the rule then? Was it if is it up to 75 minutes then that their score stand?
Yeah.
If it's called off. Something like that.
It was a League Cup game.
Yeah.
It was called the Worthington Cup. Then I'm just looking at it now. There was
the Worthington Cup. The League Cup.
Yeah, we had 23,000 there, and it was City. Yeah, it was 2. We were 2 up.
Hey, Alan, I was one of the 3,000 people at Maine Road. That was like a bloody wake when we played Mansfield Town in the old
I remember.
Trophy.
Yeah, I remember.
There was 3,000 people in a place. It was like a morgue.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sad. I'm so sad. I just turned to my dad and went, why are we here? I know we love this club, but why are we here watching Mansfield Town? With all due respect.
No, we've all asked ourselves that over the years, Martin, haven't we? Why?
Yeah,
great days.
I'll tell you what, one of the memories from
I was on a show yesterday, and I was talking about, and it just came into me, I was talking about Arsenal for some weird reason. I don't know why. And I was saying I said, you know what? Arsenal used to be one of the best loved teams around. And I just remember, and it took him back to 2001. It was a Wednesday night, Royal, and we played Arsenal. Do you remember we were 4 up? They were 4-0 up at half time.
Yeah.
I said, we stood and we give them a standing ovation.
Yeah.
I said they didn't even have Henry. They didn't even have Henry and Vieira. They were sat on the bench and they were slapping us 4-0. And we had bloody Danny Granville and Mark Kennedy sat there and Darren Huckabee. And I just remember Bill going, go and have a warm-up. And he went and sent Henry and all them out. And with the managers went, sit back down, Darren. There's no point at this stage, mate. It was, we were celebrating the second half like we'd won some. What was like?
Well, mate, that was it, wasn't it? The City fans just showed absolute class there.
Yeah,
recognised
we literally stood up and applauded them.
Yeah, amazing.
We're singing at half time. We're singing. We're going to win 5-4. We're going to win 5-4. I remember that when they came out.
Did any of you get a free get the free tour around the stadium when you were queuing for your Wembley tickets?
Oh my God! For Gillian,
I had me, my dad, and my mum. I went home because okay, I was doing my GCSEs, so I'm like, I better go. I had to go and do some revision. I left my poor mum, and didn't have mobile phone then, so I'm like, are they all right? Rang my sister from the house phone. I said, where are they? Still down there. I said, you're joking. So got me brother to take us all the way down there, swap over 12 hours.
12 hours.
They got free Baker Butties and everything, but they had a free tour of Maine Road. They went round the whole ground. Just to get the ticket office.
Right. All that for a 3rd division playoff, eh?
Yeah, all that just to go to Wembley. And you're like,
funny days.
Yeah, we've been through.
Mate, for me, when you think about that kitbacks though, as you got a little bit older than say your first visits, and you were stood, and we scored, and that surge, and you just end up somewhere else in the kitbacks.
That's right.
And you know you're never going to experience that sort of feeling again.
Yeah.
And if you look at the footage, you know, obviously with Oasis being here the last couple of weeks. When you look at the footage of Oasis at Maine Road in '96, that feeling was there then, because we'd all gone into that all-seater stadium by then, wasn't it? And then as soon as that guitar started, every lad you knew just went, this is like being at the football. And the surge then, and that level of atmosphere and energy was just unbelievable. Oh, that was late. That was a later Maine Road gig, wasn't it?
Well, I went to Maine Road. I went to that, and I went to remember the Bon Jovi one they did?
Yeah.
They did Bon Jovi, but I was in level 3 of the kit packs for the Bon Jovi one.
Look at you.
They got free tickets.
There you go.
Do you know what, Mac? I think when Oasis played at the Current Ground back in 05, I reckon the crowd would have been a bit similar to that too, because you'd only been 3 or 4 years removed since you'd left Maine Road. So any of the City crowd that were probably at that show probably would have had the same sort of Main Road 96 sort of vibes in the arena there as well too. If you weren't sitting, if you're in sort of any the standing area, you would just go with the rush of the crowd, basically.
Yeah, man, I can imagine.
But just on your Rich, you said about Main Road. Do you know what stands out to me? And I know we've had all the thing. What really got me, and it got me then, it was the Blackpool game.
The first game of the season.
The very first one in League One. And it was like
goosebumps, mate. No one could believe it.
Full.
Yeah, 34,000.
This place is full. It was baking up. I went away with sunburn. You know, in Manchester, middle of my side, and I'm getting sunburn. And I'm like, how the hell have we done this? And it made you fall in love with them even more. Because I'm not old enough to remember.
I remember
the days.
I remember being at that game. I remember being at that game. Yeah, I remember being at that game, and it rained on Thursday and Friday. I was supposed to be playing cricket, and it got there. The ground was waterlogged. It was sun shining that day, and I raced to Main Road, got inside the ground to the seat, and I was anticipating 15,000 most. That was
exactly
the most, right. Yeah. And we've been relegated to Division 2, and I couldn't believe my eyes. We got in there, and it was full to the brim at Main Road, and I actually had tears in my eyes. I was thinking, it was like everyone on us said, right, we're sticking with them, and we all get together, we're sticking with this club, and we dragged them back. We dragged them back. Just for the fans. We're all in the shit. We're all in the shit together.
Oh, we were
sticking with that club. That was it.
That was the away support.
Rich went back to Oxford with his Joey Beecham.
Yeah, the away support was brilliant.
Martin,
we averaged 6,000 away.
And Martin, you were right, and I was right. There was a 1994 game called off against Ipswich 2-0 up in the 39th minute, which is what I'm thinking of. We were 2-0 up, but there was also a game in 2000 quarterfinal.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
December, where it was 1-1, and that was 23 minutes.
We're sitting with 1-0. Someone was 1-up, and someone had to equalise. Then he went, forget it.
Rained off, flooded pitch.
Who would have thought 2 games against the same
opponent?
Yeah, and that's why because I'm sure Rocastle was playing, because I remember he was being brilliant that day. Yeah, and he would have played in '94, but he wouldn't have been.
Hell of a footballer, David Rocastle. Hell of a footballer.
Yeah, he was good, wasn't he?
Yeah, rest in peace, Rocky.
Well, I was going to say, because I was looking up, I was telling someone yesterday, and they went, "Oh, who's played for you?" And I went, like, you think of the legends just in football. I don't mean City legends that have been at Main Road, but you think, we have Peter Beardsley in a City shirt, which I was telling someone, went, Peter Beardsley never played for City, but they have. It was only on loan, but he has.
He played in my worst ever game. He played when we lost 3-0 at last ever game at Elm Park. We lost 3-0. He played that day. We were bloody awful.
The greatest one I ever saw, my favourite ever player, was David White. David White was my guy. Before Kinky came along, David White was my guy.
Yep.
Anyone want to answer?
Kinky was my man now.
Number 7, and the way he was, I loved him. I loved David White.
But first season I went and watched City, Trevor Francis. We only had him for a season.
Oh, brilliant player. Brilliant player.
Such a good footballer. He was just
awesome.
He was one of the best players in the world, and we signed him. We were absolutely rubbish, and then a year later we have to let him go.
I'm going to. We talked about this. Remember George Weah? Jesus.
George Weah, yeah. Now I get this wrong.
Former president of Liberia.
Remember signing some crap defender? What's he called? Oh, Spencer Pryor.
That's
now was it?
Spencer said at training, Joe Roller turned round to him and Andy Morrison, I think it was, and said, "Shit, I think we signed his brother," about George Weah, because he was so like.
I got Weah on the back of my shirt, and then he pissed off. I ended up with Richard Dunn because Richard Dunn took the 22 shirt. I would get every shirt, every name I got on left. So I got Dunn Then I got Wright Phillips. He pissed off to Chelsea. I'm like, well, they stopped leaving these guys. Why everyone was just leaving?
When Shawnee Wright went to Chelsea, that was announced, I think, when everybody was heading over to Isle of Man for the preseason, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the Gary Flitcroft pissed off to Blackburn for 3 million.
Yeah, it's good enough.
Yeah. The worst $3 million, £3 million we ever got. That was Gary
Flitcroft. One was good.
Was Gary Flitcroft worth 1 goal in the last 10 games of the season? Because that's what sent us down. We were down if we'd have scored 1 more goal. And Franny said the bank told us we had to sell someone. 3 million for Gary Flitcroft cost us 3 seasons away from the division.
Yeah,
but it was happy times. Happy times.
I forget who was the first £1 million player. Was it Francis or was it Steve Daly?
It was Daly, wasn't it?
Yeah, Steve Daly.
No,
sure, Steve Daly was the first.
No,
was it Trevor Francis?
I thought Francis went from Birmingham to Forest.
To Forest for $1 million, and then we got Steve Daly at the same time as Andy Gray went to. Did he go to Wolves? So I think we broke the transfer record, and then Wolves broke it for Andy Gray spending our money.
And that was crazy, wasn't it? When someone said first million, no one's worth £1 million. Hey, you remember that? That was crazy. Look at it now.
Steve Daly, he struggled a bit, didn't he?
Yeah, Steve Daly.
City have always been sort of pioneers of like pushing the boundaries on transfer fees, because I think in the history we were one of the first players, first teams to have a £10,000 player. I think we're one of the first to have a £100,000 player. So we've always been, the club's always been sort of ambitious in terms of its
Didn't we break records on Teddy Phelan and
Keith Curl as well?
Keith Curl when we both
Keith Curl, yeah.
You know the first £100,000 player was
Franny?
No, Dennis.
Was it Dennis?
We sold him to Torino, didn't we? First 100,000. So
I thought Dennis was the first 10,000 player.
No, I think he was the first £100,000 player.
To Torino.
Yeah, I think so. I thought
that's right, because he went to Torino before he went to United, didn't he?
I'm going to look up who the first £10,000 player is.
Yeah, because we bought Teddy Phelan from Chelsea for 2.5, and we got Curl from
Wimbledon. They're both from Wimbledon.
Wimbledon, yeah.
Oh no, Teddy Phelan. No, we sold him to Chelsea. Yeah, my bad. We sold him.
They were both Wimbledon players. Yeah.
See, we just feeder clubs for everyone back in the bloody night.
There's still that story.
What with Curl? Was he 15 million?
We sold him to
Curly. Sorry, Rich, here's the answer to your question. The first £10,000 player in English football was David Jacker. That was in 1928.
Yeah. When we signed Keith Curl,
a lot longer ago than I thought.
We offered 1.5 million for him, and Wimbledon couldn't believe their luck. And, they're like, 1.5 million. And then Wales went back with 2, and then 2.5. Yeah. And they're like, that was like one of the most expensive centre backs in the game, and Phelan was like the most expensive fullback. They were good players. I mean, Keith Curl was a bloody good player. He was
super players, but that money at the time was just crazy.
The worst deal we ever did was selling Paul Walsh back to Portsmouth for Jerry Craner. That was the worst.
He was a good player. That was such.
No, sorry. Jerry Craner. I love Walsh, yeah. And to give him back to Portsmouth, and sadly for Walsh, he got a bad injury when he went to Portsmouth that season.
I love that whole team.
But Jerry Craner, God, the Brian Horton team was amazing. Peter Beagre, Summerby on the wings, Uwe, Paul Walsh, and now
Quinny. Yeah. Summerby had the odd good game as well.
You had Gary Flitcroft, Lomas, and all them in the back.
Yeah. And then
some fine players there.
Some of my
is Summerby still a pundit for ESPN or something? Is he still doing that?
I haven't seen him.
Moved to Middle East.
I don't know. My brother went clubbing with Nicky Summerbest. Some of the stuff I can tell you, I can't tell you on here. Used to go in the press club. Used to go in the press club in town.
I used to go clubbing.
Him and King Clancy.
I used to see King Clancy, Summerby, Lee Sharp
in the press club.
Yeah, press clubs. I'm going into.
Yeah, I used to go into press clubs.
All three of them going into one cubicle.
Yeah, all right now, Alan. We're not going into that, mate.
There were big toilets then.
That was Nicky Phillips's issue.
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Because there was a fact, I don't know if JMCFC still in the chat, but there was a football agent used to go in my brother's club called Scott McGarver.
Yeah.
And he used to be Barton's agent.
Oh yeah.
Somebody else's.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some of the stories that I got told, I'm like, are you joking? They were like, no. Like, you couldn't air them on YouTube. And this is coming from the agent. I'm like,
suddenly it explains a lot though.
I only asked, I didn't know who he was, and he was putting like £500 in a fruit machine every night. I said, the jackpot's only 100. Why are you putting 500 in? I said, use like flashing lights.
But that was the way it was years ago, wasn't it? You know, it was like with the big story with Arsenal when they was all the same pissheads, and then Wenger come in and just changed everything, didn't he? Do you know what I mean?
Well, that was Joe Rowell's biggest problem. Joe Rowell's problem was they were all pissheads on the right. Yeah. Rowell used to be like just handing out cans of Carlsberg. Here you go.
Right, yeah, he used to have a fridge full of cider and Carlsberg, you know, in his office.
No wonder that was Spencer's signing on bonus.
Yeah, it was like
a 6-pack.
And unfortunately, there was 54 of them.
I mean,
no wonder George Weah lasted 3 weeks and pissed off. He went, what's this?
We went. Yeah, you've got to listen to that. That's another good one. We talked about it at the beginning, man, for you on the Under the Kosh podcast, and there's a great story about on the Nicky Weaver one about the tours and you know, some of the drinking things, and I think the best one was Joe had them out running laps the next day, and Tony Grant ran about 50 meters, dived into a caretaker's shed. The rest of the team go and doing the 6 laps. He throws up, jumps out and joins him with the lap. And then he's going, how knackered he is. And he's just had a 25-minute kick whilst the others are running laps.
Tony Grant, Jesus.
Off camera, Martin, we suggested, but I think we play Forest like literally on Boxing Day, so who cares if we get demonetised? We're thinking Blues Down Under. We might just do a watch along of that Mark Crosby Under the Kosh interview, because it is fantastic. It's one of the funniest hours of football stories I've ever heard in my life. It is
Tony Colt. I love Colton. Yeah. Colton was my favourite until he pissed off to the rags.
He was
forgiven for that.
You know that game I was talking about, Martin, where we were 2-0 up, and David Ellery called the game off at 2-0 up. Colton nearly killed David Ellery. He came flying out through, and I remember Colton thinking he's going to punch the referee because he was bloody spitting chips. Yeah. What a player though! He was a bloody fantastic player.
Good keeper. Yeah. Good keeper.
Yeah.
Good keeper. Yeah.
Good keeper.
And you know what, mate? I'm in the same boat. When he went to United, I couldn't believe it. But when you read his book and you realise why he went, why he went, it's not right, but you can't really blame him. And interestingly, it was at Watford away. Would have been only a few years ago, and he come out, and I thought he won't get a very good reception. And fair play, the whole of the city and stood to a man and applauded him. So, boys, I've got to run, but I'm going to just leave you with one, possibly my worst buy. Pompey did us again. They bought Lee Bradbury out of the army for £200,000, and a year later we bought him for 1.2 million. Now that's not good business.
3.5 we
3.5 mil we bought him for.
3.5 million.
He was supposed to be the next big thing, wasn't he?
He was our record signing for a very long time. Yeah,
it's the next big thing. Yeah,
I was this day old when I found that out. Not 3.5 million.
3.5 million. Yeah.
And that's 3.5 million back in what year? When was that? That was like
98, 97. Oh my God. Wow. On that bombshell.
In the 3rd division as well.
We could have signed Louis Figo.
No, we bought him in the 1st division.
Probably. Could have got 6 months blind.
Our second season in.
Although, Rich, as we know, he did save our life at Millwall away because he missed
remember
that
the old
in
joke?
the last minute.
Take the R's out of Bradbury. What did you have?
Bad bye.
Bad bye.
You had Lee bad bye.
Yeah.
Poor
Yeah,
lad.
it was 3 million, mate.
My God,
absolutely
I was under the impression.
Guy
He
was
was a rip-off at $1 million, so like you're only depressing yourself even more.
Yeah,
You just
yeah,
imagine your Franny Lee, can't you? Do you want some more money? Want some more money? Have a bit more. Like,
I wish I'd never mentioned it now.
Anyway, I have to drop. Night, everyone. Brilliant show.
Yeah, right, guys. Yeah, we're going to wrap up in a second.
Brilliant.
It's 11 p.m. here in Sydney, so yeah.
It might seem as bad as when City paid £6 million for Robbie Fowler. The Wolves. When Bernstein's trying to get him on a pay-as-you-play, and we went in and got him for $6 million.
I'll just say one thing. Come on, England. Come on, England. He actually starts.
Come on, boys.
Oh, dear. Just before you go, Pat, so I wanted to leave this comment just because I know we've done Maine Road. But David asked, has anyone seen the Rooney comment on Aguero goal?
Yeah. Well, he's been sticking with that narrative since
load of bullshit.
Since 93-21, basically, he's been sticking with that.
Yeah.
So let him have it, you know. And I mean, this is the same Wayne Rooney that had his kids playing in our academy as well too. So
it's the same guy. It's the same guy that likes granny shagging prostitutes. But there we go.
There we go.
Oh God.
Your microphone's playing up again, I think, man.
Said Franny Lee.
I mean, why did he come out with these sort of statements? It's just crazy, isn't it? It's just stupid.
They'll do anything when City are on a high or City are doing good stuff. They'll do anything to bring it down. Anything.
You know what? If Guerrero, but he was the defender, City player, ex-City player, Anoa. That would have been a penalty anyway. The way he tackled him.
Oh God, yeah.
If he didn't score that could have been a penalty. That.
Slapping the rugs for him.
Here's a hypothetical for you, right? Because he would have been on the pitch. If Anua takes Aguero down, it's a penalty. Who do you think takes the penalty? Who do you want to take the penalty? Because for me, it would be Balotelli.
Well, you could, but Aguero would have got it
to score the penalty. But who would you want to convert if it came to that? Who would you want to score that penalty?
Well, I know what you mean by rubbing it in with him, with Balotelli, but yeah, I'd stick with the normal penalty taker.
I'd have Balotelli because he was flawless in front of goal.
Yeah,
he was 100% success. Yeah, and you'd want someone who, given that situation, would be so calm under pressure. I mean, even if he wasn't, he'd never admit it.
Yeah. But it happened. That's it. Yeah. History.
Exactly.
Yeah, brilliant day.
Hard to believe, actually. I think by the end of next season, we'll be celebrating 15 years since it occurred. It's hard to believe.
My mum, I was there watching it. My mum phoned me when the goal went in and I couldn't talk to her. She phoned me and I was a blubbering mess. Yeah. I said, I can't talk. I'll phone you back. I can't talk to you. I was a mess.
Yeah.
No. And my stepdad is a United fan, so we never got on anyway. We always argued.
Yeah.
So.
No, great. Yeah, just incredible.
Great day.
Incredible day. Yeah. Well, we did. Well, when we had the 10-year anniversary for it here, the 10-year anniversary fell on a Friday. So we decided, I can't remember what the fixture was. I think whatever the fixture was that weekend, it was some awful, probably 3:30 in the morning.
We should have used this as the background, shouldn't we, man?
Right? Yeah.
That one. Oh, that one.
You want the old one?
Like Maine Road in the 70s, that would have sent Alan down nostalgia lane.
Well, just I know you're hosting, man. I just want to point this out.
Of course, yeah. Big up Bevo for
Bevo, not in the lifetime. And Luke, I put this together. with the help of MCFC Food Bank, Nick, top guy, Dante at 894, Nick Jackson, the rest of the gang. Don't forget, donate a new Tedder. They're going to be at the corner of Nexon Bridge, where the food bank drop-off is, just before the Leeds game on the 29th of November. So if you can, please donate a cuddly toy. If you've got any questions, DM Bevo or Luke over at Not In My Lifetime podcast. It's an amazing course. They're doing an amazing thing, and big up to them for that.
Yeah, big up, lads.
Yep.
And also, don't forget, tonight, 11 p.m., we're back. Stateside Blues. We've gone from one side of the world to the other.
Yeah.
Across the big.
I'll be listening in.
Yeah. So please, by the way, if you can share this around for Pat and the guys to do a lot of hard work on this, please share it around. Could do with getting the numbers up a little bit more, the likes up a bit more. So please share this around.
Yeah.
I know morning's time is hard, but it is international break, and
we
so
appreciate the support. And as Martin and I have said several times over the last few weeks, like this stupid change of YouTube algorithm doesn't help. But any support that we get from all the support we get from everybody is greatly appreciated. And we just plug along and do what we can, and just offer you guys some good old fashioned city content. Thursday night chat, I believe Baz from Black and White Eyes will be on to talk about the upcoming fixture against Newcastle.
I don't know if he will. I'm still
sure now. Okay, well, we'll look forward to dissecting that anyway.
Yeah,
Thursday night.
We've got Stateside tonight, Thursday night chat between 8 and half 8 on Thursday. Also, I only had this arranged yesterday. Late this week or early next week, I'm going to go on Lee Gunner's show.
Right.
It'll be an interesting chat.
Martin, you might not be able to get a word in.
Oh no, I'll be fine. Lee will be fine. Top guy, when really enjoys. Someone who actually, too old fast is going to football. So yeah, and also Sam football, Don, whatever he's called. Get over there. Blue pill, red pill. Really good show yesterday with us all on. It was amazing. With me, Gal, Jem, and Hossam. Martin, I want to drop a teddy. Where's the food bank bit near the ground? Do you know? It's just at the corner, at the end of Nexon Bridge.
Mate. Yeah, corner of Ashton New Road and Alan Turing Way.
Yes.
So the bridge that sort of connects the stadium to the academy to the Etihad.
Yeah.
Sort of just sitting on the corner there.
Right. Sorry about that, Pop.
No, that's all right, mate. Thank you. Thank you for sending us out. It's been a great episode of Blues Down Under. I like these Maine Red memories. I think.
Sorry, I'm back live at 2 p.m. on Footy Judgment as well, by the way.
There we go. Yeah.
So please, I need your support on there because it gets flooded with Arsenal and Liverpool fans. Please come and support that over on Footy Judgment.
And it's hosted by Inter Milan's biggest Arsenal fan. So
yeah, 2 p.m. today.
Yeah. So enough said anyway, guys. Big up to everybody. Thank you for being a part of another episode of Blues Down Under. Main Road Memories was a good bit of fun there, actually. Learned a lot. Nice little history lesson there. And hopefully it's not too long before we do the next one. But until then, we'll look forward to seeing you over the coming days. Got Newcastle to look forward to and plenty more. December, it is crunch time coming up for Manchester City. And let's see if we can get ourselves back on the winners' podium in a few months' time. But I think the season starts now. And we'll look forward to bringing you more over the coming days. So I've been your host, Pat. That's Governor. That's Martin. Big up to Macca. Big up to Rich. And we'll look forward to seeing you all again soon. And always and forever.
No more breaks. That's brilliant.
No more breaks to March. Yes. Rock on. Thanks, everybody. Up the Blues. Go on.
Take care, lads.